everybody. This is the very first episode of Inside the Stadium podcast. I am your host, Cameron, and I'm here with
Eliza.
And we are going to be your host for a while, as we plan on doing this for a long time.
Yes.
And we are very excited to start this and hopefully have a journey with our fans if we can connect the fan base here. But we are going to be talking about sports, three major ones in particular, NBA, NFL, and MLB. We are actually going to start with the NFL and how these games played out over the weekend. Eagles-Giants game, complete blowout. That I honestly, as soon as I seen 14-0, I'm like, this is either one-sided or something's going to happen.
Was it the first half? Hey, was that 14-0 the first half?
14. It was 14-0 after I think like 6 minutes in the first quarter. There was like 6 minutes left or something like that. So, but then the Jaguars game, that was good. Jags and Chiefs were a very, very good game.
Yeah, because thanks to Patrick Mahomes' injury. So
and that's something we're gonna get into here in a minute. But going from those games, that was a Saturday night slate. Bengals, Bills. Anybody else see that coming? Because I didn't.
I watched the whole game.
You did. I did as well. It was
a good game. I enjoy it. But I didn't expect Bengals dominate the Bills the way they did Sunday. It was a Sunday.
It was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday when they played. Yeah, no, they were the very first game Sunday. It's 27-10 though. Is like you said, the Bills have a high octane offense. For that to come out from the Bengals defense, Diggs was not happy. You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of right before he got traded from Minnesota. I'm not trying to speculate because I know that's reckless at this point with that, but it looked exactly like before he wanted to leave Minnesota. I mean, it was almost a carbon copy.
Will be traded?
I don't know. That's going to be the tough part.
He left the building until one of the coaches stopped him.
We're going to have to wait to see what happens there, honestly.
It's not looking good.
Let's see what happens. I think they are one running back away from making that a all-around good offense.
Come on, man.
If I can be honest with you, they are missing. Devin Singletary is not a great guy. And I didn't mean it as like Devin Singletary is a bad guy. I just meant it more as like I don't think he's the running back that they need.
He's not good.
Throw a couple names out there that are free agents. Kareem Hunt is one of them.
Yeah.
Pass catching guy. I do think that James Cook is going to get more of a pass catching role. So I'm thinking, who do they need that's going to be a dominant running back? Josh Jacobs comes to mind. And after the year he had, that might be what they want. And if they can do that, maybe they can finally make that final push.
What about Pollard from the Cowboys? It will be a free agent, but I think the Cowboys will tag him.
I think they will. The biggest issue, though, is what I seen was I think he fractured.
He fractured
something.
the fibula.
Yeah, and that right there is going to put him out for a while. So I don't know how long.
3 months, he said.
3? Okay. So, I mean, not super, super long. I mean, obviously,
he
have surgery, but
the free agency.
And having to return from that type of injury as a running back is very difficult.
Yeah.
You're just not going to trust it the same. You're going to be afraid to get hit. But
do you think it was a mistake by the Bills to not trade for McCaffrey?
You think trade for McCaffrey?
I think the Bills should trade McCaffrey when they have the chance.
They should have. I don't think they're going to do that now. The 49ers are going to.
I'm just saying in that time, but because the Bills was their favorites.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. That's no problem whatsoever. I do feel like at the time that would have been good for the Bills. I just don't think they wanted to give up their first round picks.
No,
which is understandable considering that they have a lot of key free agents. And I do think that they are gonna have to use their draft picks because they're gonna have to still pay Josh Allen.
Do you think right now that the Bills are not a dynasty that everybody think they? You think they will be a dynasty? No, not anymore. I think the Bengals will be from now on.
I think the Bengals are running that division for a while. I think the Bengals are in that conversation for AFC Championship almost every
Browns.
year. You would think, but that team has so many question marks as well. The Browns, it's just very difficult. So yeah, like with the Browns, it's just one of those things that there are a lot of question marks. I mean, a lot of teams have question marks, and it's going to be a big thing coming up. But Predictions though for the NFC Championship. NFC is the Eagles and the 49ers.
Yeah.
I believe we're both on the same page here. We both think the Eagles are going to win that game.
Yeah.
The only way that the Eagles don't win that game is if that defensive front and that front seven for the 49ers, if they get into there and they destroy that offensive line of the Eagles, that's a different story.
Yeah, that's another one, yeah.
With that offense, I
mean, I don't see a third-string quarterback to go, with the Cowboys game, it was the interceptions that Prescott did, because Prescott lost this game.
That is 100% on him.
That's 100%
he's been
on him.
terrible with interceptions all year as well.
The defense cannot be a game the entire game. They got tired.
Yeah, no, that's asking way too much.
They got tired.
Sense. Yeah, they definitely did.
So, Prescott lost this game. I know that Pollard, with that Pollard injury, changed everything. Because Ezekiel Elliott, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, Pollard has been that game changer.
He didn't do anything. Elliott didn't do anything. So, do you think the Cowboys maybe looking for a trade, Elliott?
I don't know if anybody wants Elliott, though. That's going to be the big thing.
Maybe the Cowboys can eat that contract. Kind of.
But do they want to? That's going to be the biggest question. Are they going to actually be able to eat that contract? That's going to be... They traded away Amari Cooper because they owed him $20 million. Zeke is I think like $13 or $14 million is what he's owed. How much of that can they actually just pay for? I mean, it's going to be... And now you have to worry about how stable is that leg going to be now for Tony Pollard. That's going to be another question. So there's a lot of injuries that happened this year and a lot that are going to be questioned going forward.
So I just have this tweet report from Diggs.
Yeah,
he's not happy,
and he's rightfully so. I mean, that's 3 years in a row now they have lost either in the divisional or the AFC Championship round.
Exactly,
and he's rightfully so. He has a right to be angry. But did you see on the sideline he was yelling at Josh Allen? Like it was Josh Allen's fault.
Question like why I was wide open. There was several times Diggs was wide open.
There was, and that's the thing that you got to look at. He was
targeting Knox most of the time.
Knox didn't look like Gabe Davis. There was one in the end zone. I'm like, you need it. It's 4th and 6, and you just need to get a first down. And what did you do? I looked at that. It looked like after he threw it, Diggs was open. Diggs just had to run forward a little bit, and it would have been a touchdown. But with that being said, so we're going back with the NFC Championship. We both said the Eagles. AFC side, what are you thinking? Because Patrick Mahomes clearly has a high ankle sprain.
That's the reason why I picked the Bengals.
And I would agree with you on that. I honestly do think the Bengals are going to do that. I think the Bengals are going
to... If they play the way they play against Buffalo...
No doubt about it, they're winning.
I don't think Kansas City have a chance to beat them.
No. Because I wouldn't say they don't have a chance.
Bills' defense is better than Kansas City. Little bit.
That's true, but the offense for Kansas City is much better.
Oh, I know.
You cannot. It does not. You can have 3 guys over Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce will still come down with that ball.
But the thing that was Patrick Mahomes. That's what the reason why I said you put a backup quarterback to cover Patrick Mahomes. You think that backup will do like Patrick Mahomes?
No, but I do think that with Patrick Mahomes, though, I do think that the good news for Patrick Mahomes is he plays a lot of his time in the shotgun. He doesn't stay under center very much. So with him being in shotgun, I feel like that's going to be very interesting to see how long they can give him enough time. I don't expect any deep bombs. I expect like maybe 5-6 yard dump offs, maybe 10 yards most. And then that's enough time for them to they're going to move the ball slowly. They're going to have to utilize their running backs. And I tell you what.
So that will affect Travis Kelce. Because, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have that chemistry.
Yeah, but they like to do those slant routes. They like to do those little button hook routes. They don't like to do the deep bombs very often to Kelce. He's more of his like short target, red zone guy. And I will tell you this, if I were the Chiefs, I wouldn't be too worried about it if you have to use your running game. Isaiah Pacheco is a rookie.
Oh my God.
And he looks amazing. He looks amazing.
Oh my God. He's good. He's been in the Edwards, what's his name? Edwards.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire hasn't even been really used at all this season. I think he's done in Kansas City as well. But the way that they use Jared McKinnon,
he's a free agent or no?
I don't know about that. I honestly don't know. That would be something that we would have to look into, honestly. But Jared McKinnon also in the passing game is going to help out a lot. A little, 5 little screen off the line of scrimmage, real quick, get it out of Mahomes' hands, let him go to work.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that's going to happen with the 49ers. That's what they use the best. They dump it off to McCaffrey. They dump it off to Deebo Samuel, and they go to work.
Yep.
That's what they do. Same thing with Kittle.
Oh,
The famous saying, Kittle up the middle. Kittle up the middle. That's what they love to
Oh
do.
my god, that catch, it was like, wow.
Oh, it was absurd.
I sent this text message to my brother-in-law.
Mhm.
He's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
He didn't respond me back.
Yeah, no.
He was not happy that, he said, like, I don't know how many years last time the Cowboys won.
It's been years.
With this big market team. I think the coach is safe, McCarthy.
I think he's safe just because they made it to the playoffs again. I just don't know, is Dak Prescott safe? That's going to be the big question.
Things they just pay a lot of money to him.
Yeah, they did.
I guess they stuck with that.
But Jerry Jones wants to win a Super Bowl. He doesn't care. Jerry Jones is that type of owner.
How do you win a Super Bowl when you trade Amari Cooper right now? They need another running back. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott is the answer for that. For that
no,
offense.
and they paid him too, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do there. There's a lot of questions.
Was a wide
with
receiver will
Delson.
be a free agent or no?
I think no. Gallup, I think, is there for a long term. I think they signed him like 2 years ago, if
What
not
about
last
Lamb?
year. CeeDee Lamb's still on a rookie deal.
Okay.
He's their number one. He'll be there, I think, another 3
Dude,
years before you even have to worry about
You know
it.
who's my favorite wide receiver right now?
Who is that?
Chase.
Jamar Chase is that guy.
Oh my god.
He is that guy. He was
Oh.
that guy in LSU with Joe Burrow, and now he's that guy with Joe Burrow in the Bengals. A lot of people question, why didn't you get offensive line? That's why. That right there. Jamar Chase is that receiver. It's going to be interesting to see how they even try to cover him in the next game for the Chiefs. Because even if you don't go to Chase, you got Higgins. You got Boyd. You got
Boyd.
you got Mixon.
And they got Hurst at the tight end.
Hurst is a tight end, and a lot of people think, too, that, okay, if Mixon's not in there,
Mixon is a good running back.
Samaje Perine can also catch the ball out of the backfield and make you miss.
Oh, by the way, I forgot. Congratulations about winning the fantasy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
I was struggling in the beginning.
You were.
I was. But I did that comeback. Was it 7 games in a row?
I think it was like 7 or 8 you did, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was nice to win. First year that we did this league and I was able to win the first year. It's always nice to have that off your back already.
You do a good roster.
Yeah, thank you. That was biggest thanks really to Jalen Waddle, AJ Brown, and Jalen Hurts. Those guys really helped me along the way.
Yeah.
I also did have Isaiah Pacheco in that league too.
Whoever picked Jonathan Taylor, I bet you he's upset.
Don't even get me started. I had him in another 2 leagues. I was in 4 leagues last year or this past season, and
he was a first overall.
Taylor hurt me in 2 of them. Can we talk about the reviving career though of Christian McCaffrey? Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers might have just saved his career.
Yeah.
It might have literally just saved his career.
I think that he have how many years left on his contract?
I think he has like 2 or 3, so they got him for a good amount. I'm not really worried about that.
So question.
Yes.
Tom Brady. He's not. I don't think he's going back to the Bucks again.
No.
So he's gonna retire or he's joined another team. There's one team are ready for Super Bowl and needs a quarterback.
Are you gonna go with the 49ers?
Of course.
Yeah, he is from that area. That would make sense. But can I throw a wild card at you?
Who?
He goes back to the Patriots. Retires one season with the Patriots.
Come on, you will put the what's his name? The quarterback of the Patriots.
Let Mac Jones develop under the greatest quarterback of all time. Yeah, let him develop 1 more year under the greatest quarterback of all time. See what that does for him.
I don't think he's going back to the Patriots.
Can you imagine that?
They're not ready.
Can you imagine though? That defense looks good for the Patriots.
Yeah, but what about the offense?
Imagine if they bring back Gronk and Tom Brady though. That now I got your interest because you can't really argue that. Those two have chemistry just kind of like Mahomes and they were the original Mahomes and Kelsey. They were the original Mahomes and Kelsey. And there's no denying that.
Me and you are Browns fans so much.
It's the misery.
It's a misery.
It's not fun.
This is upset me about the trade for Deshaun Watson. You trade 5 picks.
3 first rounders. You don't have a first round pick for at least 3 to 4 years.
And then 2 round picks.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we will pick Olave. as a wide receiver for the Browns because that was it was going to be drafted.
It was either Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, either one of those. Now, the question is, and this is the biggest thing, obviously a lot of people don't like Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. They never did. That's fine. He had his moments. He had his ups and downs. But at the end of the day, when you talk about it, I would have liked to see him have one more year. If he wasn't the answer, then guess what? You get a high first-round pick. You let him go. You let him walk, and you can go get a quarterback. Now, you have massive holes at defensive tackle.
Wide receiver,
you need at least one more. And the biggest issue of all, linebacker. Not one linebacker stayed healthy that season for them. So you have all these issues now.
We need a good linebacker.
JOK's got to step it up. He's had decent times. He's got to step it up.
We need a good linebacker.
You're going to have to find a veteran in free agency because you're not going to get one in the draft.
Gone. You know, Clowney will be
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Do you think it was a good pickup for the Browns for that defensive coordinator from the Eagles?
A lot of people were questioning it, considering the fact that he was the defensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl, and that defense made a big stop against Brady at the end. I like it. I do. I think the reason why is I think Brian Flores was the original guy that they wanted. He's getting head coach opportunities, and for Cleveland to sit back and wait for that, I feel like that wouldn't have worked out. Exactly. So for that to have to happen and for him to have to sit back and wait for him, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'd rather just get the guy that you think is going to be there regardless and just take him. I think it was 1A, 1B. I don't think it was 1 and 2. I think it was 1A, 1B. If Flores wasn't going to jump on it right away, I think Schwartz was the guy. I think they did the right thing. We'll see what happens. But we do have predictions for the Super Bowl. We both said the Eagles and Bengals. We'll run with that. Now, switching gears a little bit, going to the NBA. These conferences, are going to be close all the way through the season unless something happens here the rest of the way. I believe Boston is number 1. They are legit. Kyrie and the Nets, without Kevin Durant, they look legit. They look almost unbeatable.
Yeah.
Cleveland obviously does not have Donovan Mitchell right now. And even the Warriors are struggling.
The Cavaliers in 5th place. I think that's a good jump from 9 last year. 9 or 8.
Yeah.
So it was because of the injuries, But Cleveland is real. They can surprise everybody.
I think so too. If you don't mind, would you mind running down that list 1 through 8 for the Eastern Conference?
Sure.
Let's go through this and break it down.
Boston Celtics first.
They're legit.
Yeah. Philadelphia 76ers.
They're getting hot. They've had their moments. I don't know if they're legit quite yet.
Not yet. Milwaukee Bucks, they are, contenders.
Giannis is that main focal point.
If you lose Giannis in that team will suck.
Cleveland beat them the other night without Giannis. So exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
Brooklyn Nets 4.
They're legit.
Cleveland 5th.
They have their moments, but they seem to be like they're on their way.
Miami is the biggest shocking for me.
Where are they at?
6.
We went from the star rising Tyler Hero to like the basic Tyler Hero. Like he has not been the same, I feel like, since that Jimmy Butler trade. And Jimmy Butler and Victor Oladipo can't be on the court at the same time, so that's another. They don't have the shooting power. They don't have the chemistry. They don't.
New York Knicks, all the Knicks fan.
What a come up from them. By the way, me being a Cleveland baseball fan, the Dolans have killed my spirit multiple times.
I know.
But for them to turn that around in New York, good for them. Yeah. Good for them. Just like Cleveland won the division last year.
Atlanta Hawks is the biggest surprise because they're supposed to be good this year because after that trade.
DeJounte Murray has been decent, I believe. I haven't really seen much of his stats, but his defense has been the question mark with a lot of that.
Indiana Pacers, 9.
They're on the come up. Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield together, that's a good duo.
Then Chicago Bulls. That's
I don't know what's going on there. DeRozan has not been the same since he left Toronto. He should have never left Toronto. And you get players like that should not have left an area, and they do. And they
no, he never. Well, he was in San Antonio first. DeRozan. Remember?
Well, he was traded. He went from
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, it was a part of that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Toronto, wow. 11.
Yeah, they're
After
not.
that.
Pascal, they're the only team to have the Cavs numbers. The Cavs have not beat them
I don't
yet.
know why. I just, like,
It's weird, isn't it?
yeah. So Western Conference, this is they have a big advantage. Denver first.
Denver is that team, I think, right now.
With
Denver,
Jokic.
yeah. He might go. What is he, back to back now? He
Yeah.
might go three-peat on an MVP. Without him, they're not first place.
No,
They're not even top 4.
Memphis are second. Do you see that Memphis and Lakers game with Shannon?
Oh
Shit.
my gosh, there was way too much stuff going on there. I don't know. There's just too much to break down.
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, that tweet, I had to look into what happened after that.
Yeah. Sacramento third.
Okay.
New Orleans 4. Dallas Mavericks 5th.
And they are going to be a team that needs maybe 1 or 2 more pieces before they dominate.
And the Clippers as well, because then 6 right now.
Yeah, but they have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I don't know why that's not gelling.
Phoenix, I'm surprised. Phoenix in 7.
Devin Booker being out has hurt them, and they also lost Chris Paul for a week or 2, which killed them.
Forget about that, yeah. Minnesota 8. Utah 9. And the champions 10.
No, yeah, the Warriors, they're going to do what they did last year. They're going to bench most of their players and give them rest. They're just going to wait until it comes near the end. They just need to make the playoffs. They make it playoffs at 8, they're still going to go
I don't
on.
think they will win.
I don't think they're going to win, no. I think that they're finally going to meet their match with Utah. Or not, Denver. They're going to finally meet their match with Denver.
And that's it. Jokic will destroy them. I think that team will destroy them.
I honestly don't have another player you can argue, maybe other than Donovan Mitchell or Jason Tatum, that you could argue for MVP right now.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't. So that's
what's
gonna
your
be
prediction this year's NBA finals?
I think it's a little early for that, honestly. I do think that if you were to tell me I had to pick right now, I think Brooklyn is coming out of the East.
Wow.
Especially when they get Kevin Durant back.
Oh, yeah.
So right now they're without him, and they're, third, we said? So I do think that Brooklyn's coming out of the East. I don't think anybody's going to beat Denver unless something happens in Denver. Denver's going to but Denver, I think it's Denver versus Brooklyn at this moment. That's my honest opinion.
That would be a good matchup.
I mean, who do you got in this situation?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna imagine that. You just put me on the spot now. I'm gonna put you on it.
You will say I'm crazy.
Let's hear it.
I think the 76ers.
Okay.
I think they will come out in the East.
I just don't know with James Harden.
It will be 76ers versus the Cavs in the East Championship.
Okay, so one of them goes on. If you had to pick one.
I think 76ers.
So as 76ers are representing the East in the finals, who do you got in the West?
Denver.
So again,
Denver and then I think Sacramento. They will surprise everybody.
You think Sacramento?
They're good.
I mean, hey, they do have some young guys. But we're finally seeing the superstardom. I mean, he was doing good before, but now we're finally seeing the superstardom, the overall player of De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
By the way, University of Kentucky. Yeah. They produce players.
Yeah, no.
They produce players.
Always.
But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see. Now, obviously, we love football. We love basketball. We got our number one sport.
Yeah, Major League
you
Baseball.
got some breaking news on that. Why don't you go ahead and read that one out? Because that's something that's very interesting. Some news that's been going on for months.
So the Angels back in the winter meetings, there was rumors that the Angels was going to be sell.
Moreno or potentially move.
Yeah, Moreno was saying, I'm decided to sell. So we was thinking, like me and Cameron was thinking, so it's going to be huge trades because, the new owner, they want to take the big, that payroll and just trade players. Right now, 30 minutes ago, Moreno just he made a, statement.
Public statement, yeah.
That he is not going to sell the team. He will remain as the owner of the Angels for 2023 and beyond. So, what's going to happen with Ohtani? Do you think Ohtani will stay or Ohtani will leave?
Well, we've seen he paid Mike Trout.
No, I think one of those two players will be out of the Angels.
The only, and that's, if I had to choose, honestly, Trout's injuries, obviously you would love to have Otani as a dual-way player. How long is Otani's arm going to be able to sustain
No, I
that,
agree
though?
with you with that.
So that's another question you got to factor in there. However, if you're going to trade Mike Trout away to any team, send him to the team that he was been wanting to go to forever. Let him go to the Phillies to play with Bryce Harper. Let him go to the Phillies to play with Bryce Harper.
Do you think the Philadelphia Phillies have a matchup to trade?
They have a lot of good
But
prospects.
Remember, they just signed Trey Turner. They have Bryce Harper. That's $300 million for both players. You add Mike Trout, that's another $300 million payroll.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's the problem.
you want to talk about payroll?
Well,
I don't think you want to talk about payroll.
Well, I'm a Yankees fan,
yeah,
but try to be honest. Right nowadays, I think teams have to spend just a little bit. But I'm just saying, like, what the heck happened with the Red Sox? Can you explain me how the Red Sox went for the championship? Well, beat the Yankees in the wild card games like 2 years ago, correct? It was like in 2021. Yeah.
Something
So
like that.
they beat the Yankees in a wild card. They beat the Tampa Bay when Tampa Bay was so good all
Yeah.
year long, and they went to the World Series the year before, and they went head to head against the Houston Astros. So what happened last year? They went to the last place. The general manager decides to keep Eovaldi, JD Martinez, and Bogarts. They said, no, we're going to compete. Even he knew Seattle, Toronto, and Tampa was right there on spot above from the Red Sox, including the Orioles.
Yeah, and that's a team right there that a lot of teams, out of all the teams that need a good round of applause for what they did, Baltimore.
Yeah, but
They
saying
have young players, but I agree with you 100%. With that, I don't understand what they were thinking. Obviously, you as a general manager, you want to compete. I understand that 100%.
but you cannot able to compete even when you're almost in last place. It's good. Hey, trade the players, get some prospects, try to rebuild the farm system. Right now, you lost Bogarts, you lost JD Martinez, and you lost Eovaldi for nothing. So right now, you heard about Trevor's story. He's got a Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I was watching actually MLB Network earlier, and they seem really disappointed in the fact that he's not able to play for Team USA because of that injury, and it's just that injury is gonna hurt Boston in the long run as well.
Of course, and then you signed Story to replace Bogarts because that's what they did, and you pay the same amount of money, kind of less years than the San Diego Padres pay Bogarts.
They did make one good move though. Boston did this offseason.
Well,
They signed Rafael Devers in an extension.
Extension, but it's only one player.
I know, but that's the thing. You got to wait. The problem is you have Chris Sale on your payroll, who's been injury prone. Until he's off your payroll, I don't know what you're gonna do. You lost, I believe. Didn't they lose Kiki Hernandez?
No, not yet.
No, not
He got
yet.
one
But
more year.
he's still okay. So he's got one more year. They still have Alex Verdugo, who they got from the Dodgers.
Yep.
He's shown flashes, but he's also struggled from time to time.
Yeah.
Fine. JD Martinez, your DH batter. That's fine. You're not expecting very much from him, except for maybe like a 270 batting average. I don't even know if he hit that last year, but he's gonna have to step it up. However, they need a first baseman, and they have one in the farm system. It's just a matter of when are they gonna bring him up. I think he's in Double A right now.
Schwarber, was in that team. They just let him go.
He wasn't. He was struggling, wasn't he? With Boston?
No, Schwarber, no, it wasn't.
He was struggling early. I think he picked it up.
Well, he was injured.
Okay.
He was injured with the Washington Nationals, and the Red Sox made a trade, and he was good.
Yeah.
You let him go to let's put Dolbeck. Do you see how Dolbeck played as a first base the whole year?
Yeah, not good.
There's a lot of highlights. You can see how many errors this guy did. I just say like this Red Sox team is like seriously like I bet you all the Red Sox fans are questioning what this general manager is doing, and right now they said, well, we're gonna switch around the infield. We will put Kike Hernandez as a shortstop maybe, and then they're gonna put somebody else.
I could see Story playing short and Kiki playing second because Kiki did play second, I believe, for the Dodgers for a little bit when he was with them. It's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do.
Who's
Now
the catcher now?
I don't even want to get into it. I don't even
Who's
know.
the catcher?
I have no idea.
And then they pick this left field from Japan. He's good at offense, but he's not good as a left field defense player.
They might move him to right field then. They might move.
So you can put Alex Verdugo as a left field.
Verdugo could play center, left, or right.
Because they wait.
Honestly, why wouldn't he be good in Boston's ballpark in left field? That's a short left field.
I know.
They just have a giant wall. He doesn't have to jump up and he's just got to play it off the wall. That's all he's got to do. Now, I don't think they have massive walls like that from where what country is he coming from again?
Japan.
Japan, yeah. So I don't think they have the massive walls like that in Japan.
So who's the center field right now? Because you lost
Verdugo.
Jakey Bradley.
Verdugo's your center fielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think the Boston Red Sox will be good? Even they got bullpen. They have Jensen. Is it Jensen, the closer now?
Yeah, Jensen. Yeah.
And they got some good signing on the bullpen. But I don't think it's good enough because right now, Chris Sale is like a crystal ball. Like, he just...
You don't know what you're getting with him.
You lost Evaldi.
They just need to take Chris Sale and put the word fragile. They need to put fragile tape across him, and he just needs to just...
You lost your ace, Evaldi. And then, right now, Pivetta is your best shot.
And what was it? 2 years ago, they lost Eduardo Rodriguez, too.
Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So, I think the Red Sox will be in the last place again. I think.
Unless something happens with Tampa Bay, because I know they lost G-Man Choi as well.
Yeah, but...
We'll see what happens there. But we're actually going to break that down next episode. That's something we're going to do next episode. We're actually going to go through division, and we're going to rank our divisions. That's what we're going to do in the NFL. After the NFL segment, we're obviously going to talk about what we see, who's going to win these championship games, what do we think we're looking at. But other than that, we're right around the corner. I'm looking at it right now.
60-something days.
Something like that before the MLB pitchers and catchers report, and looks like in about
February 13th.
3 weeks. February 15th. So that's actually going to be teams like the Dodgers, Cubs, White Sox, Reds, Rockies, Royals, Angels, A's. Most of these West Coast teams, couple Central teams. Most of them report on the 15th, some on the 16th. Only one team reports on February 17th. Cleveland.
Huh.
They're the only team to report the last to first pitch.
Hey, let me tell you something
I will say, though, the only reason I think that's the case is because they did not have the pitching rotation change or a bullpen change.
Let me tell you something. Cleveland is a scary team right now.
If they can continue off of what they did
and
last year.
I told you that Cleveland's going to sign Josh Bell.
I'm very happy about that. He does have an opt-out after 1 year.
I know, but
we'll see what happens.
At least, it will compete. And with that rotation, that starting rotation that Cleveland has is good. And the bullpen... There's no questions about that. I think could be first overall, I think, the whole league, I think. Depends what the Dodgers and San Diego. But Cleveland is a good team. And they have a good catcher now. That's a good defensive catcher. Not offensive catcher, but at least...
It's giving me Austin Hedges vibes again. Good defensive, not offensive, and that's fine. It's a 1 year deal. It was Mike Zunino as well who signed from Tampa Bay. I do think that it's a good move by Cleveland because by midseason, if not next year, Bo Naylor is going to be that guy.
Oh yeah, that's maybe
offensive guy.
Maybe that's the reason why it's 1 year deal to train him and
that's the reason why he came up. He spent some time with the team near the end there, but. He is going to be that catcher year-round coming up soon, I believe. The one thing he has to work on a little bit is his defense.
Cleveland will be in the first place again because I don't think Minnesota made those moves. You lost the, what do you call this, luggage, the winner?
With Luis Ariz trade.
Yeah. You trade a good player. Yes, I know, starting pitcher Paulo Lopez. And maybe some prospects, but
they got MLB's number 5th pipeline prospect,
shortstop.
and that's why I feel like you're willing to give that up because even though you might feel that way, I think that they made a good trade. They won that trade. I think Minnesota won that trade. I do think that they needed the rotation. They finally got it.
I think they lost a little bit of the offense because I don't think Carlos Correa is good. but I don't think the
He hit like
offense is better than Luis Arraez.
He hit like 275 last year. Correa did.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
275, 20-something home runs.
Now, there was one guy that was missing, and it's because of some conditioning issues. But if you get him back, and I'm talking about Miguel Sano, by the way.
Miguel Sano, yeah,
you
he
get him,
strikeouts a lot.
But if you get him back, there's your slugging power that you just lost in Luis Arraez.
We'll see.
It's going to be interesting. It really is. But
I think Minnesota lost because of a lot of injuries, but I think Cleveland will win the division again. I think, or if Cleveland doesn't win, will be the wild card.
So you're giving us a spoiler in the next week already.
Yeah.
You think Cleveland? All right. Well, you all right?
Yeah, Cleveland. I think the problem is the AL West. I know that the champions, Houston Astros, are good, but you got competition right now.
Yeah. So the AL West looks like it's going to be one-sided, but we're going to get into all that next week. There might be one or two teams that surprise you there, but we're going to get into that.
We can get into that next week.
There's so much to go into, and that's just one of the beautiful things about these podcasts is we're going to break it down every week with different stuff, different news. So we covered the NFL today, we covered the NBA, we covered the MLB. You give us a little spoiler into Cleveland. Obviously, you think Bengals, Eagles, I think the same thing. We'll see what happens. You said 76ers or Cavs. You said you think I'm gonna be crazy. Yeah, I think you're a little crazy for that one. But we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Well, we'll see. I just like to have the underdogs, to get the role.
Yeah, but we're. I mean, who doesn't love a good underdog story? Honestly,
yeah, especially the Bengals.
Yeah. Well, they look like they're gonna be legit from here on out.
I think so. They will be better than Mahomes if I think Joe Burrow beats Mahomes if Mahomes play, because we have to verify if he plays or
I
not.
think he's playing regardless. But
if
yes,
he plays the whole game, not maybe 80% healthy, and he plays good, and Burrow beats him again, I will say Burrow will take over as the number one quarterback in my point of view, because it will be 4 times will be Mahomes in a row.
Yeah, he beat him in the playoffs last year, and Mahomes has not beaten. It's kind of like Burrow was with the Browns up until the last time they played.
Yeah.
And they finally got a win. Is Mahomes going to finally get a win? That's the question mark. Now, the issue is going to be obviously the high ankle sprain. But
that's a bad. Did you see that?
Yeah, I don't want to rewatch that video, just like I don't want to rewatch Tony Pollard,
which
we covered on that.
He was in pain.
But we're gonna end this podcast here today. First podcast in the books. How we feeling so far? We're gonna have money more.
Good. We love sports, and we can talk about sports all day long if we want to.
All right. So obviously, next week we're gonna be back with episode 2. We're gonna be doing MLB division predictions.
Go Yankees.
Oh Lord, here we go with that already. MLB division predictions is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about a couple trades and free agency signings, including your boy, Aaron Judge. We'll break that down later. Yeah. Not Arson Judge, but Aaron Judge.
That was John Heyman.
Thanks, John Heyman, for that one.
Hey, he better.
I'm sorry, Giant fans, in that opinion. I apologize for that.
Well, we can talk about this.
We'll talk about
that
the Giants. Week. But yeah, we're gonna give you an NFL and NBA update, obviously too. We're gonna see what we think. Maybe give you a score prediction on the Super Bowl as well. But thank you for joining us on this podcast. We will be back next week. Podcast will be recorded 2 days prior to release, so look for the release on Wednesdays. Make sure you go to our Twitter handle at Inside Stadium. That'll be the Inside Stadium podcast. Any breaking news that we get throughout the week that is not recorded on here, make sure you follow so we can give you our update.
On our Twitter page.
It'll be posted on our Twitter page on top of our personal Twitter pages that are also linked to that. So you can follow us if you want our pages.
Don't follow John Heyman too much.
Yeah, I would make sure that you have another reliable
Jeff
source
Passan.
to pack. Yeah, Jeff Passan's pretty good about it.
Or what's the other? What's his name? I forgot his name.
Mark Feinstein, is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
One.
But
Jack Curry.
Yep, that's another one. So there's many out there. There's plenty out there.
Well, not John Heyman, because my God,
that's how you get the Arson Judge and the Carlos Correa.
I was like freaking out when I saw that.
I texted you about that too, but all right. Well, we're gonna end it there. Like I said, we're gonna go into all that next week for agency signings. But you can follow me at Shuttera, Shuttera, and then Cameron at Twitter, or you can follow Eliza at Shey Chey Ruiz Ruiz 23. Those are our Twitter handles, and then remember to follow us at Inside Stadium on Twitter as well. Our
sir.
YouTube is linked to that, so you can follow us on there. Make sure you subscribe and follow. Make sure that notification button's clicked so you can get when we get our podcast drop. But other than that, we look forward to seeing you next episode. So other than that,
See you guys next week.
all right, see you next week.